Israel spokesman David Menzer had a meltdown on Channel 4 with Christian Guru Murthy. This interview was conducted after the IDF fired upon civilians trying to collect food and aid.
David Menzer, the IDF has admitted shots were fired this morning. Why is Israel firing at people who you have told it is safe to go and collect aid when they are desperate for food?
First things first, Krishnan, we're trying to divorce Hamas from the aid distribution system because Hamas were taking the aid, profiting the aid. You know, they were charging poor, hungry Gazans to get this food. We're divorcing the two subjects of Hamas and aid distribution to allow hungry Gazans to get the food directly, to be able to feed their families in an orderly way. Now, to the event this morning, Tuesday, the IDF have said that as crowds move towards along the designated routes towards a humanitarian aid distribution point in northern Gaza, Israeli soldiers identified several of those people. They left the approved access route. The incident occurred approximately 500 meters, half a kilometer from the distribution site. And after issuing warnings, audio, verbal warnings, warning shots were fired in the air, and unfortunately, some of these suspects continued advancing towards our troops in a threatening manner, and so further fire was directed near. No, where there are people desperate for food, we want them to get the food. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. We're trying to get the food to the individuals.
Were they armed?
IDF will be able to answer that question directly, but let me tell you, our intention is to get as much food to ordinary Gazans.
I mean, Menzer said that the IDF was scared of unarmed, hungry, desperate people, therefore shooting them was warranted. Of course, Murthy was having none of it. This then led to Menzer claiming Murthy was advocating for Hamas.
The IDF operates under international law, not Channel 4 law, international law. And that's why it's very important. The details of this case are very important. Now, the IDF is aware of these reports and also of casualties, and they are reviewing the incident. But look, a couple of things are clear. We are not preventing the arrival of Gazans. The opposite. We want more humanitarian aid sites, and we want more Gazans to collect that food. We're encouraging it. Now, these warning shots were fired
David,
away from the aid distribution.
Twice now, desperate people who have been starved for weeks have been shot at while trying to collect aid. You are terrifying the population of Gaza even more. They're too scared now to go to collection points because they know they could be shot at by the IDF.
So that is precisely the Hamas rhetoric that they want you to publish.
It's the fact of what's happened. More than 50 people are dead.
No, that's not the facts, Krishnan. You've got the facts wrong because we've already shown you video of Hamas firing on their own people because this is the last hand. Yes, we have. We released it on Sunday evening.
That is a totally spurious video. It's a spurious video of a different incident
the video
in a different
of Hamas
place.
Firing. No, the video of Hamas firing on their own people trying to get hold of aid is spurious, is it? I think it's
You have no evidence that that was Hamas or it was at the same incident.
Okay, that's slightly ridiculous. Sometimes, Christian, you actually advocate for Hamas, and I must say it's bizarre.
No, that's offensive, David. And you really shouldn't say things like that.
It is offensive to Israel.
It's just attacking the media.
It is offensive to Israel.
It's a talking point, and it just shows you're avoiding the question.
I mean, I love how he says that the IDF operates under international law, when international organizations, of course, explicitly say they don't, and just Israel attacks them. I mean, that's a really, really wild thing to say. A journalist asking basic questions now means that Christian is a Hamas advocate. Now, I could say that's the last crazy thing in the interview, but it's not. Menzer proceeds to call out the UN for the supposed double standard because apparently they're anti-Semitic.
The UN around is most of the world, maybe not in Israel. So are you rejecting an independent investigation?
Every single Hamas terrorist which attacked us on October the 7th was a graduate of a United Nations education. Now, you cannot tell me that the UN is a respected organization. They have unfortunately perpetuated this conflict. They should be humanitarian.
Well, you may not respect the UN, but are you rejecting?
We have begged them to be humanitarian.
This is not just the UN calling for this.
But they,
Are you
They wish to
rejecting an
sustain
independent
Hamas's
investigation?
leadership. They wish to sustain
you
Hamas's
rejecting an
leadership,
independent
and we
investigation?
are not. Listen, when the British Army is accused of doing misdemeanors, there is no independent investigation. There is an internal investigation.
Two wrongs
That's
don't
what
make a
all
right.
democracies do. No, because it's double standards, Christian. That's what you're guilty of. Different rules apply to Israel. Is it because we're Jewish? Christian, is that why you think there are special rules which apply to this country, the only Jewish country in the entire world?
No, I'm saying there are calls
this country
all around
is
the
being
world for an
demonized.
independent
This country
investigation
is being
because you
this
won't
country
allow the
is being
press in, you won't allow
precisely what
international
Britain wouldn't do.
organisations in, and you
Precisely,
are
that's
judging
not true.
yourselves.
International
That's why they have
organizations,
no
we are.
credibility.
Sorry. This is wild. I mean, all of Mensa's interviews literally go like this. Now imagine, being a member of the Labour right, former head of the Labour Friends of Israel, leaves the party to go and do propaganda for a genocidal state. Now, I really recommend you watch the full interview. It is really wild, but you have to watch it. Frank, I really got to get your thoughts on this. I mean, look, there is a lot to unpack there because that was 10 minutes of just pure lies from Mensa. So I want to get your reaction.
I wish I could say it was surprising, but I mean, we've seen this, 1,000 times before, and we've heard this rhetoric over and over and over again, and it's tiring now because it's just an attempt to continue casting doubt and fear in the minds of the public to justify the actions of the Israeli government, which we all know, are completely breaching international law, which are, taking food now away from innocent people, really stepping over the line of Channel 4 law, and this has to be stopped. It has to be called out, and it's excellent journalism from Christian, and we have to continue asking tough questions to everybody. But it's just quite sickening to see this division from Mensa here as well, that questioning Israeli government officials, questioning the actions that are being taken is anti-Semitic, that it is putting you on the side of Hamas, that it is making you somehow an advocate of terrorism. That is just not the rhetoric that's going to help us bring peace, that's help us bring people together to solve what is a humanitarian crisis, which is killing innocent people, children, every single day. This has to come to an end, and that begins with having sensible conversations about this.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about weaponization. I mean, your deputy leader, Zach Plansky, he is himself Jewish, has said on the record multiple times, advocating for Palestinians, I've been called anti-Semitic, quotes, self-hating Jew, really disgusting things. And actually, when I was watching earlier, Piers Morgan, you had the Israeli, I forget her name now, the Israeli lawyer who was saying that this blood libel to suggest that Israel's killing kids, which is just a fact. So, I mean, what do you make of that as well? Again, I'll bring it back to Zach Polanski. He's your deputy leader, and he's been attacked for this. The Greens have been attacked for this more broadly.
I've been attacked personally as well in the local elections that have just gone by. The Conservatives trying to get the Green Party to suspend me as a candidate, calling me anti-Semitic on purely spurious claims which the party rejected. And it's just what they're doing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Zach has been very clear on this, has been a very, very strong advocate for peace, of people, of human rights. And for this to be now drawn on lines of faith, of ideology, of race is ridiculous. And I would question that Mensa's doing the same thing here. He's saying that anyone that dare criticize is therefore on the side of the other, is therefore attacking Jewish people, is therefore anti-Semitic. And therefore that's the same type of sectarian language that we hear from those that he claims to be fighting against.
Well, I mean, it's just pure projection. What do you get from these people? I mean, I don't want to ask you, what does it say about the Labour Party, though? I mean, this man was the former head of Labour Friends of Israel. Now he's doing a genocide apologia. He went from the Labour Party. He supported the right-wing faction in Labour. He attacked other factions on the left, those who support Palestinians, obviously Jeremy Corbyn. And now he's literally a spokesperson for the Israeli state. So surely this is a fundamental issue with the Labour Party.
There is a fundamental issue with the Labour Party and their inability, and we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, in a moment, about their inability to condemn what's happening and to remove the British state from being involved in this. And it's quite clear that the Israeli government is going around and trying to make sure that countries around the world give them their support. That is happening. They are trying to butter up individuals, countries, nations, leaders, so that Israel can continue doing what it's doing. And Mensa, being involved in party politics, is an expert at doing this. This is what they're continuing to do. And being on Channel 4 like this, having this interview is just another space for him to be able to get in front of the British public and try to cast doubt, to leave viewers wondering if, well, did Hamas do this? Did the Israeli government really do that? To create a world where there is no truth anymore. That is really what they're trying to get to a point where we just question everything and therefore we can't believe anything and we just allow it to happen and remove ourselves because it becomes too complicated. And that's what this war, this genocide, this crisis, which has been decades and decades long, has always been thrown into the category of being too complicated. And we have to challenge that. And again, Christian did a great job of doing that. I think really, really sensible, moderate in his language, very calm, and that's how we have to deal with people like Mensa.
Support independent media, support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you. Turn left.